Okay, hi everybody. It's the 22nd of March. It's another lovely sunny day and very cold outside and very warm in here in the greenhouse. So today I'm going to make a film which is going to be about sowing half-hardy annual seeds. So these are seeds which are annual vegetables or flowers. That means they have their whole life cycle in 1 year and die. And they're half-hardy, which means they won't survive a frost. So they need to be planted indoors, and all the ones I'm planting today need some heat in order to grow. Okay, so you only need to plant very small numbers of most of these vegetables. So I'm going to sow now some padron peppers and some sweet red peppers, which are a variety called Marconi Rossa. So Italian and Spanish peppers. So I filled my little tray. You need a shallow little tray. So those trays that blueberries and strawberries sometimes come in, if they've got holes in, they're ideal for this. I filled my tray with the seed compost, same as we used last time. Tamp it down with the base of another one. And then I've already written my labels, very organised. So I'll put one at the top here, Pepper Marconi Rossa, and one in the middle, Padron. And the reason I'm leaning them down like this is you'll see later is that they're going to go inside a propagator, going to have a lid over them. So then I'm going to take some of the Marconi Rossa seeds and just place them on top of the seed compost. And just place them a little bit apart. So if you think in the end, if you want maybe 4 pepper plants, then try planting 8 seeds. And then you'll have some that won't succeed and hopefully some to give to your neighbours if you're allowed to see them. Okay, so we've got 8 of those in that one half of the seed tray. And you can keep those for another year. And then this is the Padron peppers, which are fun because 1 in 10 is very spicy. They're really delicious fried, and most of them are sweetish, it's bittersweet, and 1 in 10 is fiery. So sometimes called Russian roulette peppers. Spanish roulette, I suppose they would be. So that's those seeds gone in there. And then take some of your seed compost, and then you just want a fine covering, not too thick, over the top of the seeds. Tamp that down gently. Oh, there's one showing there, make sure it's covered up. They like the dark. And then that's ready for a gentle watering. Some of these seeds you will find, read on the packet, because some of them are so tiny, they suggest you don't cover them at all, and some in fact need light to germinate. So do read the seed information before you sow the seeds. Okay, now I'm going to sow tomato seeds in exactly the same way. Okay, so I've sown all the seeds and now I'm going to water them, and I'm borrowing Ren's watering can to do that because the seeds are very fine and the compost is very fine, and so you want a very fine spray on them so that you don't dislodge them all. So I'm just going to give them some water. Another way that you can do this with seeds is filling the trays with compost and then standing them in a separate tray of water so they absorb the water from the bottom up, and then sowing the seeds. So that's another way you might like to try. Right, so everything's sown and watered. So this morning what I've sown in here are 4 varieties of tomatoes from seed that I've saved, 3 varieties of pepper, I've sown basil, 3 varieties of basil, and I've sown some dill, which is a delicious herb, and some half-hardy annual flowers. some cosmos and nicotiana, which are just nice to have about. So a word on what to sow and plant. If you try and do everything, if you're new to this and you try and do everything that I'm doing, you'll probably end up with complete plant overwhelm and nowhere to put them. So my suggestion would be just pick a few. Try one variety of tomato or one kind of pepper or a couple of herbs or flowers, and just start small and see how it goes this year rather than try and do everything. You're going to learn masses and masses just by doing it. Now, all these seeds that I've sown today need warmth in order to germinate. So I'm putting them in a propagator, which is simply a double tray, and inside there is a heating element, and I'm going to take that into the house and plug it into the mains, and that will provide some gentle heat, bottom heat, which will help these plants germinate. This goes over the top, so it's like a mini heated greenhouse really. And once they've germinated, we open these vents up so that there's some air in there. If you haven't got a propagator, you can buy these plastic trays which fit exactly over a seed tray. You can get different sizes. Now, if you think you're going to be gardening, growing from seed every year, I personally think these are a really good investment in a plastic product, because I've had them for probably a decade, not a single one's damaged, and they're really, really useful. But if you don't want to do that, you don't want to do that initially, you can simply take your seed tray with your seeds in and wrap the whole thing in a plastic bag, or cover the top in a plastic bag. You can find any clear plastic bags these days, and that creates the greenhouse conditions that you want. Whichever way you choose to cover them, oh, another thing, where you need to put them. So you then need to put them in a warm place in your house, particularly if you haven't got bottom heat. So the best place is a south-facing windowsill, but certainly a very light, warm place in your house. Whichever way you choose, growing these half-hardy annuals, you need to put a little bit more care and attention in to help them. You need to water them enough, but not too much. You need to make sure that they're not sitting in water, because then they'll be too soggy and the seeds will rot. Some of them, such as the basil, is very prone to what's called damping off, and that means as the seedlings grow, they rot just at the base of the stalk. So you just have to watch them very carefully and know that you might lose some, and you've got plenty of time to sow some more if you do. Again, with this method, or with the plastic bag, once they've germinated, really important they get ventilated. So you take this off for the day and maybe put it back on at night. Take the plastic bag off completely. And also, once they've germinated, for all of them, very important that they go in a nice light place. And wherever you put them, unless you've got them in a greenhouse which has light all around, you'll find that they will grow towards the sunlight, and they then risk becoming what's called leggy, so very long stalks as the arms, the leaves reach for the sun, the arms reach for the sun. And what you can do to help prevent them becoming leggy and stalky is to turn the trays around a few times every day, so you're continually turning them. And the other thing is just to gently brush the tops of the plants with your hand. I'll show you this when we've got some through, but actually touching them, very gently touching them like this, strengthens the stalks and makes them stronger plants. And of course, talk and sing to them. They'll love that. Okay, I think that's everything I need to tell you for now about growing half-hardy annuals.